Hello again. Two more stories from relationship advice. One is about a wife sending nudes on Snapchat, but who is she sending them to? The other is about a wife using money to help her drug addict sister without her husband's knowledge. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get it started. This story is titled, Wife Taking Nude Pics with Snapchat. Hey Reddit, need some advice on how to proceed. Last night, I walked in the bedroom and my wife was very obviously taking a nude pic of herself, selfie style. When she saw me, she closed the phone out. I asked what she was doing and she said that she was taking a nude pic of herself to send to me. 2 problems. 1. I'm not on Snapchat. 2. She has never sent me a nude pic before, married 13 years. I asked her to open the phone up to show me. She opens the phone up and closes out Snapchat. I ask her to open up Snapchat and it is open to the profile of one of her male customers. She is in sales, showing 2 messages, images that were just sent 2 minutes prior, but being Snapchat. We couldn't see them anymore. My heart drops to the floor and I ask her what is going on and why is a man's profile up with her taking pics and what are the messages, images. She stands by her story that it was pic for me and the messages were work related about a damaged product. We have discussed before that cheating is unforgivable in both of our eyes. My wife is an honest person, but this story just doesn't add up. If she is being unfaithful, then I feel like she thinks that she is in a catch-22 and lying at least keeps the marriage together. I don't know how to move forward. Do I just accept her explanation or press harder for the truth? Comment 1. Sometimes we have the truth in front of us but our heart wants it not to be the truth. You already caught her. Any explanations from her is pure BS. It's your call, brother. Comment 2. Hi, okay, so, if it opens straight to a chat she obviously wasn't using just the camera of the app. She would have had to swipe over to the chat section and open his chat and hit camera. She was in the chat for a reason. She can say all she wants that she was just trying to be a little saucy for you and didn't realize she was still in the chat, but sweetheart, it doesn't add up. In my previous relationship, Snapchat was a very big issue because it is a sexting app. It's the perfect app for people who don't want to get caught. You can send something and you'd never have to see the consequence because it deletes itself for you. If she's claiming it is for you, ask to see her saved photos and her My Eyes only on Snapchat. This is your marriage, follow your gut. Don't settle for less and have trust issues on top of it down the road. This is your life. Do you want to spend your nursing home days with this person? Comment 3. Dude, she is freaking cheating on you. My advice, if you have shared checking accounts, close them, freeze your assets and contact your lawyer. Do whatever you can to make the divorce go smoothly as possible. She doesn't mind having the marriage being built on lies and doesn't mind doing this shite behind your back. Once you got shite ready for the divorce, do not interact with her, do not answer her calls, text messages or emails or meet her in person. She'll try to get you to compromise and call off the divorce. Let me repeat, do not compromise. Even if she threatens to take her own life, don't give in. Your life will be a living hell if you go back to her. There are no second chances, my friend. Comment 4. Why would your wife be sending messages and images that self-delete about a damaged product, then 2 minutes later, according to the timestamp on those messages, be taking a nude selfie on the same app? Politely I say this as to not hurt your feelings, but it's because this dude has sent her a message asking for nudes and sent her one of himself first. Remember that we're creatures of habit. 13 years and she's never sent you a nude of herself and now all of a sudden she's sending you one unexpectedly whilst you're in the house. Think logically about what was going on at the time. Did she think you were busy in another room, downstairs, so she had time to engage in this sharing of nudes? I saw in another comment that you stated the door was wide open, but if she thought you were watching the game as an example, then you wouldn't come into the room at that time. Had she made any hint to you that day or last hour or two that she was horny or wanted sex with you? Personally, if I were in this situation, the red flags would be flying high and I'd be asking many questions to see if she slipped up in her answers. I'll admit I don't have a great understanding of Snapchat, but I'd be very skeptical of believing she's sending work-related customer complaint messages on there. Because surely she'd need proof of damage etc. before sending a refund and a message trail to prove she's dealt with it professionally and thoroughly. Comment 5. I use Snapchat to take nudes for my boyfriend, who's not on Snapchat, because it has filters that make my skin look nice. You can download your pictures directly to your phone without posting them or sending them on Snapchat, and I send them to my boyfriend from my gallery. I could excuse that by itself. But you walked in on her taking nudes with pictures already having been sent to a male coworker, whose account she still had up. And she tried everything for you to not see that. She closed her phone. When you said to open it, she did, but she closed Snapchat. When you said to open Snapchat, she immediately went into excuse mode. That is not a coincidence. She was taking nudes for her coworker. Don't let her try and tell you it was anything else. This story is titled, My Wife, 38 female, had been giving our down payment money to her sister and lied about it. Well, I'm pissed, having trouble sleeping since I found out, and just generally confused about how to proceed. For context, we've been saving up a down payment for a few years. We live in Seattle and are aiming for a $800K home, so the amount of down payment money is not insignificant. We each have our own separate bank accounts where we have each been saving. Her sister, let's call her sister-in-law, is a former heroin addict, and while she's sober now, her life is really messy compared to ours. She doesn't have a job, is living in their parents' second house rent-free for over a year while she gets back on her feet. But she's overstayed that welcome by a few months and their parents are pissed and feel taken advantage of. She's a nice person but has wild mood swings, is in the middle of a divorce, and I generally don't trust her. So with my wife and I saving individually for a down payment, we have been really conscious of our budget. I have been hesitant in spending even an extra $30 here or there for creature comforts like new jeans or dining out. We recently stayed with sister-in-law due to a local weather evacuation, and the sister ran out to get some groceries. I used Venmo to send her $30 and saw on her profile many payments from my wife, the most recent being a few days ago. My wife and I have talked several times in the past year about how unstable her sister is, and we have discussed and agreed several times that we could never lend money to her. So I confronted my wife yesterday and asked her if she had given sister-in-law money. She said no. So I opened up Venmo and showed her, and she burst into tears, apologized profusely, said it would never happen again. Apparently the total amount given is around $5,000 according to my wife, but I haven't confirmed that. At this point I'm considering 1. Not buying a home with my wife. 2. Posting up to protect my equity portfolio, and other investments, which is around $300K and separate from the down payment money. What are my other options here? I've never had trust issues with my wife and this feels like the first time she's ever truly lied to my face, which really hurts. How do I navigate the conversation with my wife about trust and money? Edit 1. Thank you for the replies. There's a lot of helpful comments in here that reaffirm some of the things I've been thinking and feeling, and help me to get a better sense of how I'm viewing the situation. My anger and hurt about being lied to has made it seem really cloudy to make rational, logical decisions about how to proceed, so I appreciate all of the replies, even the ones I don't fully agree with. So thank you everyone who has taken time to weigh in. A lot of replies are getting caught up on the amount of money, which I wasn't expecting. In the grand scheme of where we are financially, $5,000 isn't a lot but does set us back a few months. We were aiming to save up 20% plus closing costs, approximately $20K, which on an $800K home, means we have roughly $180K saved up, and this has taken us years to get to. We make approximately $200K combined gross, which sounds like a lot, but after taxes, retirement savings, rent, childcare, etc., it means we can pay our bills and save approximately $2K a month. This is Seattle. Sparta kicked me into my financial advisor's office. Second thing I wanted to clarify, I am not going to divorce this woman. One lie, albeit a big one, isn't enough to break a 10-year relationship, and our trust has been very strong up until this point. And we have a toddler, who we love very much. Our marriage and home is a happy one. Apart from this situation, I have no reason to believe she is dishonest or has been dishonest about anything else. And more importantly, I really love my wife, she really loves me, and I believe we can work through this with counseling, both couples counseling and financial counseling. Third thing, and this is partially my fault, we haven't set super clear boundaries with each other on the my money versus her money versus our money distinction. For the most part, we consider all of the money in our bank accounts to be our money. So even though she gave sister-in-law money that came from her paycheck, even she recognizes that this was our money, and frick up number 1 was giving that money away without conferring with me. Frick up number 2 was lying about it. After reading the replies, I'm strongly leaning towards 1. Delaying the purchase of a home until after we've undergone both couples counseling and financial counseling. 2. Posting up, not as a punishment, but as a means to protect what we have, from the risk of a potential divorce down the road. I don't want to give a couple lawyers 100k to bicker about who gets what portions of which accounts. A postnup also protects our child's ability to fully inherit the wealth that my wife and I have built. Edit 2. My wife has described her sister's former drug addiction as losing her sister, and we've talked about her fears of relapse in the past. My wife has described herself as having some form of PTSD for having dealt with her sister's previous addictions. And for what it's worth, I do believe that sister-in-law is still sober. She's just kind of a dumbass when it comes to money, jobs, and relationships. Very likable, but clearly there is arrested development. Someone commented that the sisterly bond is imprinted at an early age, and that really resonated with me. In my mind, that makes the giving money forgivable, but the lying to me about it when confronted, not as forgivable. Edit 3. It was my wife who primarily drove the discussions and decision to not lend sister-in-law money in the past. My wife complained about her parents enabling sister-in-law by letting her live rent-free. So when I say that we mutually agreed and discussed the decision to not lend sister-in-law money in the past, it was not a situation where I decided but my wife didn't fully buy into that decision. Neither of us had to convince the other. Edit 4. Guys, stop downvoting each other. All replies and perspectives are very much appreciated. I don't see a single reply that is off base and worth a downvote, even if I may not fully agree with everyone. Final edit. We talked it out, and have determined to delay the home buying by a few months so that we can have couples counseling and financial counseling. We're going to set up a shared savings so that the down payment money is completely isolated from our individual accounts. And we are going to set up our budgeting to align with our goals more firmly. We are also going to get a postnup. She agrees that this is something that would be good for both of us. And both of us have thought at various times that we wished we had obtained a prenup before getting married. It makes the idea of divorce down the road less scary, and enables us to make the decision of divorce more about our happiness in our relationship rather than weighing that happiness against the financial consequences. She is really truly sorry that she lied, and I trust and believe her. She said she made an emotional decision to give money, and when confronted about it panicked and went into teenager mode, her words. We both cried a little bit, but are really feeling better about how we can move past this and grow stronger. Thank you to everyone who gave feedback and perspective, even those of you that called me a moron or told me she should have bought GameStop stock instead of giving it to sister-in-law. Sister-in-law is going through some shite, and we're not in disagreement that we can help, but all decisions moving forward will be made mutually. I'm not closed to the idea of helping sister-in-law, I just want to be part of the discussion, and want to make sure it doesn't interfere with our short-term goal of buying a home. Thank you so very much for listening. Please check out my other videos and like and subscribe.